hey folks. Damn, I'm almost tempted to let that music keep playing in the background. Let's see. Bring up Discord. Discord is live. Video is live. Welcome back. Live with the Shaman. Hope everyone's doing well. And hope everyone's doing well over in Discord.
Hey, how's it going?
Roundy, roundy, round.
I'm here.
Yep, like a big top. Round and round. Where we go, nobody knows. All right. Got to start off, of course, with our shout out to Discord apps. We have a never expiring invite in the description area. So if you want to join us, you want to talk, you want to be heard, you're tired of typing, you got something logical you want to say, or a question you want to ask, join us over on discordapps.com. Also, too, Live with the Shaman is an adult channel. We do periodically use adult language. Of course, to make YouTube happy and our other upload affiliates, no nudity, no porn, damn it, but that's disallowed, so we don't do it. As always, the opening videos that we use, the drums or whatever, we always give kudos to the YouTube artists that post it. The link is in the description area, and it's also posted at the time of opening. There we go. Alright, all the mumbo jumbo happies out of the way. What the hell are we talking about today? Today we're talking about how stones work for and with shamans. Now, I usually do these on crystals, but we always end up talking about stones anyway. Now, right now in Discord, we have two of the masters of the Grove of the Celtic Shaman, along with myself. Anybody else pop in while we're going along, which I haven't seen yet. Cindy and Clint, what kind of stones do you use and how do they work for you? And do you even use stones? Whichever one of you want to go first, I don't care.
Well, I use stones, but I also just use my hands because I don't carry a lot of stones with me. But if I have a session or someone that needs some kind of stone Christology that you've trained us on, I use the variations of anyone from rose quartz to hematite to, there's all kinds of stones you can use. And you've taught us we use stones for any kind of stone can be used for certain things. It's how you program it.
So let me ask you a question, Cindy, before Clint kicks in. Do you find that the adage of one stone is only good for one particular thing to be true, or do you find that you can sometimes use, like you say, rose or hematite, you can use them for different things on different people?
Use the stones for different people because I use the essence of the stone, but it's what gives the boost of what kind of stone I use on the person and where at on the person.
Yes, I am. Okay. Depending on what needs to be done, depends on what I feel, which stone or crystal needs to be used. Now, like with Debbie, all of my stones that I have for my circle, I either found or were given to me, except for about 4 or 5 of them. So that's what I use those for, is for the sacred space. But depending on what needs to be done with a person, really depends on how the stone wants to talk to me to be used.
Exactly. Um, and I completely agree. Debbie says each stone has its own frequency. She says, I find it'll work for anyone who resonates at that same level. Yes, and that was one of the big points. And like both of you have said, Dave, feel free to kick in if you use stones, crystals, or whatever um, in your healing practices. Now, and anybody else that watches our pre-recorded broadcast, feel free to drop into whatever description area, whatever chat area that you're watching in, the types of stones you use and what you use them for. Because we will have people that will be watching these videos later on, and maybe they need some help on what does what. And that's the whole thing. A stone is a stone. It's a tool. It's a tool just like a screwdriver or a hammer. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not playing down the personality, the frequency, the resonation of the stones at all, but different tools work differently for different people. And a lot of newcomers to the healing practices, whether you're a shaman or not, if you're a healer and you use energy, tools, stone of any kind, wands, wood, whatever your tool of choice is for directing and focusing your energy, a lot of the books that are out will lead you to believe that certain stones are only good for certain usages, which is a crock of crap, honestly. I have a Tiger's Iron wand. Yes, Tiger's Iron. If you don't know what that is, Google it. It's a very strange looking stone. It's kind of a mixture, intermingle of tiger's eye and iron, where it's been bonded together. Huh?
That's the one I gave you.
Yeah, I absolutely love that wand. And I say wand because I think it's about, 12, 14 inches long, along with my other two wands. One of them's clear quartz and the other one's a rose. Now, I didn't break them out for the means of this presentation. Quite frankly, I didn't think about it until about 10 minutes ago. So, yeah. But this is more of stones, not just crystals. One of the biggest things that has started taking hold, at least here in the States, is hot stone massage or warm stone massages. Masseuses, people that are, quote, registered massage therapists, will use river rock generally. They're smooth and they're oval, concave. They will soak them in herbal water of different forms, and they'll get them to a very comfortable temperature. Now, different practitioners use different temperatures, right? I have found for most clients that anything over 85 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit can burn the skin, especially on the back. I mean, and of course, I use Fahrenheit, so there you go. I don't use Celsius. Celsius just always completely confused the hell out of me. What the interesting question, and this is something that I know I have experienced, and I know that Debbie has experienced in the times I've been over to Scotland. There are a number of beaches in Scotland around the lochs that are full of crystal. Now, quartz. Okay, I'm going to use the word quartz because I don't want people to think there's crystal shards on the beaches of Scotland of what you're used to seeing in shops. No, these are quartz of various different shapes and sizes, different mineral contents, rose, clear, smoke, whatever, and different things that you can find. Right? Now, where I was going with that is people that are attuned, sensitive, whatever you want to call it, enough to pick up the hum, the energy, the chatter, whatever the hell you want to call it, of stones. I will tell you from firsthand experience, it can be deafening. The quartz beaches that I have been on, there have been several of them that I had to either shield or get off of the beach because the hum, the energy, the chatter, what have you, was just almost deafening. Dave says he uses Herkimer diamonds are his favorite. Yes, I love Herkimer diamonds. I've got two very large Herkimer diamonds that oh, I absolutely love Herkimer diamonds. So my thing is that when you're talking about stones and shamans, you can use the same stone for multiple different things. You know, like I said, it depends on the resonant, how the stone resonates to the individual. Somebody was going to say something. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, what?
No, you said it before I could say it.
Oh, that's all right. So I mean, using stones, the use of stones, and you know, of course, we're a shaman channel, so I'm going to keep it within the shaman philosophy. But the use of stones is everywhere in the shaman history. They're used not just around fire pits to keep the fire in, but when those stones are placed for the fire pit, they are placed with a specific energy pattern in mind by the energy of the stone. Like when we do our fire dances in our circles, we would have a launch stone and a landing stone crossing from south to north, and of course we would want relatively decent flat stones, but each stone has its own job that it's going to do and it's going to perform. Dave says, I have 2 carved stones left for me in the daytime in bedrooms from spirit. Okay, cool. I have to say, I've never had stones left for me from spirit, but hey, rock on. However you get them, you got them. I have been walking through crystal. Hi, Rachel. I know at one point we went to Arkansas. Yeah, Arkansas, up to the Crystal Mountains in Arkansas, and did a bunch of digging for crystals.
Oh, I remember that trip.
And you will absolutely know when a stone is for you when you're walking around and the damn thing will trip you. Hi, Rachel. So stones come to us in multiple different ways. A friend or a mate may give you a stone that they feel is for you. You may be in a rock shop and come across a stone, and when you look at the stone, a person's name immediately comes to mind. So you purchase the stone with that person in mind, and you present that stone to them the next time you see them. Yes, Dave says, I love stones. Yes. Back in the day, I used to love getting stoned.
Oh boy.
I went there, didn't I? So, how, and this is kind of a rhetorical question for a shaman to ask, but I'm not asking because I want to know. I'm asking because people want to understand how stones work. Everybody, how do stones work?
That's hard to explain to me.
Didn't hear you, Cindy?
I said that's hard to explain for me. It's just the vibrations through them, our energies that through them.
Yep. Clint?
There's an energy to them, but there's also, to me, they talk when you listen to that energy. A lot of people don't believe things can, inanimate objects supposedly can talk, but everything does, because it's always got some kind of energy in it, no matter who works with it or who made it.
And everybody's saying the same exact thing. Energy. Dave says stones work according to how we connect with them. Yes, Debbie said earlier how the stone resonates with certain people to do certain things. And it's real simple. The simplicity of it is mind-boggling as to how stones work. Energy. Well, where are stones from? Stones are from Mother Earth. Stones are from outer space and meteors and what have you that have fallen to Earth. You have certain rare earth minerals which are stones, mineral deposits turned to stone. Those have different ways that they work. You take a different stone that will just absolutely chatter up a storm to one person, you put it in another person's hand and they get nothing. Absolutely nothing. Or I have seen some people that wanted to look at my stones, they go to pick one up without permission and it will burn the shit out of them.
It's called biting from the stone.
Right. Dave says we're made from the same thing they are. Basically, yeah, you're right. Human beings are made up of rare earth elements, right? We're made of water. We're made of carbon. There is iron in our blood. Without iron in our blood, we would die. There are multiple other chemicals in the human body that are related to minerals and what have you, mineral deposits in the earth. Rachel says, are they get bit? Yes. So, in that, and 19, 20 minutes into the broadcast, we asked a question. A very simple question with probably not a very simple answer. Are all stones the same? Now, I don't mean in a chemical base. Okay, that would just be a stupid question to ask. But the stone itself, energy-wise, and all of that, are all stones the same?
In a way, yes, but in actuality, no. They all use energies, but each one is specific to itself.
Absolutely. They all use energy. The fundamental, the fundamental operation of a stone is exactly the same. It uses energy. But however, Dave says they vibrate different, like colors. Yes, colors, different colors have different vibrations. And that's a total different science philosophy of color and vibration. You can also find that different colors have different temperatures. And herein lies something else. Different stones also have different temperatures. Different stones resonate in different temperatures. Debbie also says everything in the universe is made of atoms. Yes. So, if you think about it,
Or Eve.
Go ahead.
I made a joke. She said atoms, but we have Eve too.
Alright, smartass. She says atoms have energy depending on chemical structure. That atom is part of the a part of what dictates its energy. Yeah, its energy level. Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, let's think about this simplistically. All right, let's think about it simplistically. Human beings, it doesn't make any difference what color, shape, sex, orientation, whatever you are. What makes you human is the same. I mean, the basics is the same. Okay, skin pigment, different. Body shape, different. One arm longer than the other, different. Born with no legs. Born with 3 legs, different. But you're still human. And that's one of the really big things that is missed. You know, yeah, you know, like Debbie says, you can go really deep when you say, what is a stone? And you can go really deep when you say, how does a stone, an inanimate object, work with a human being, a living, breathing object?
Hello.
Oh, Dave.
So it's real simple how stones work. They're all different. Some stones have a lot of spiraling energy where you can lay them, you know, on the middle of your forehead, in front of your pituitary gland, and they just take you right away instantly. So they just vibrate. They all vibrate differently, and some just are incredibly, you know, vibrant, and with that spiral energy, they just take you on journeys.
Well, see, herein lies the exact point to the whole situation. I have a amethyst stone that I use for the clearing of the third eye in my holistic Christology layouts. However, it doesn't take an amethyst to do that. This particular amethyst really likes to do that. All right, Deb, happy eating. We'll talk to you later. So yeah, certain stones placed in certain areas will absolutely take you on a voyage. if you let them. Now, I have a rose quartz that I use for the heart chakra. Well, does it mean that rose quartz has to be used on the heart chakra? No. Whatever stones you use, whatever crystals, whatever stones you use, will work differently for you on different people. Rachel says, I love amethyst. I know that back in the day, Rachel had personally experienced my amethyst third eye stone, but it really depends on, and here's the funny part, I've met shamans that don't use stones at all. They just don't communicate well with stones. Now, it doesn't mean they're not shaman, right? So, you know, if you're of the lifestyle of shamanism, just because you can't or don't communicate with stones doesn't mean you're not shaman. I know the study that I've done of many of the Siberian tribes of shamans. Many of the Siberian tribes of shamans use sand, dirt, sandstone. Sandstone is a stone, but it's very crumbly. It's just compacted sand is all it is. But they use sand. Well, if we wanted to get down to the chemistry of it, sand is silica. Silica is, silicone, a few steps from it. Sand is stones ground very, very finely. Right? So, but there are Siberian tribes that don't use sand at all. They use herbs, plants, herbology. They use energy. They use self-meditation. So one of the things I wanted to be sure that I said during this broadcast is just because you either can't or don't resonate with stones or particular stones or a particular crystal does not mean you're not shaman. So I mean, we could get, the whole point to the whole thing is we could get 50 people in a room. All 50 of those people are shamans of one fashion or another. Celtic, Siberian, Nordic, Native American, non-denominational shaman, whatever. Shaman. And all 50 of them would do things just a little bit differently. One of the conversations that I had with someone many years ago proceeded to explain to me how I was not shaman, and anybody who didn't do things the way he did them and the way his training from his 4th or 5th or 6th generation training of his shaman family, if it wasn't done that way, then they're just not shaman.
Well, to me, shaman is a describing term. So this person is absolutely wrong. Who are they to judge who is or who isn't? That's all speculative. You know, I mean, that's up to how you were born. It's not up to him.
Well, yeah, you know. And of course, the individual didn't stick around long because every time he met somebody, their bullshit meter went clear off the scale. So this particular individual was so far stuck up under his own ass that every time he farted, his ears wiggled.
Oh, I know that.
So we know a bunch of those. So, but even still, case come to point, when you're using stones, right, whether they're sandstone, crystal, glass. Glass is a very interesting healing device, depending on what type of glass and how you're using it, of course. I had, oh hell, quite some time ago, I had a healing done on me, and they laid me down on a warmed glass table. Now, of course, I had to get over the initial fear of my fat ass falling through the glass table. But they assured me, and obviously I didn't fall through it. But everything they did was with cut glass of one form, shape, or another. Some of it was tumbled glass in a tumbler, real smooth. Some of it was glass wands. Rachel said, makes you a stoner. Well, yeah, I was back in the day. Now when I get stoned, it's usually because somebody threw a rock at me. Right, I went there, didn't I? Anyway, so I mean, glass. What?
That was bad.
I know, but it was fun. I digress. Rachel done it. Rachel derailed me. It's Rachel's fault. So, at the end of the day, the whole thing is, and yeah, this is going to be a short broadcast, okay? Because people need to understand some very basic things about stones working for and working with shamans. We know shamanism is a lifestyle. It's a philosophy. It's an idea. It's a way. It's a way in who we are. And the way we use our tools is just as varied as the different types of people that we are. And the way you determine how a tool is used is the way it works for you, just like this silly little screwdriver. Well, this is what's known as a flathead screwdriver. I have used it to remove stripped out flathead Phillips. Now, anybody that knows what a Phillips screw is, you'll understand that analogy, but with a big enough hammer, anything is universal. So, Rachel says, you play with stones, that makes you a stoner. Bad little faith. Bad little faith. Yeah, so if playing with stones makes me a stoner, then I guess, yeah, I'm still a stoner at 58 years old. So the simplicity of it, whether you use stones or not, whether you use stones for sacred space, or you use stones for healing, or you use stones for both, do not think that just because a book tells you that amethyst has to be used for one thing, tiger's eye has to be used for another, rose has to be used for another. That is not true. And it's easily proven just by meeting, hanging out with, and watching a shaman who uses stones in action. Now, in retrospect, if you have one particular stone that you have found only works in one particular way all the time, then that's what you use it for. Right? Like my little amethyst I've got that works on the third eye. That's all that little thing wants to do. If I put it anywhere else, it's useless. If I try it anywhere else, it's useless. So that one particular stone is only used on the third eye. So you will come across, be gifted, and lose stones all your life. And this is one of the things I want to kind of wrap up with a little bit. I've had people get really, really, really upset because they lost their favorite stone. Okay, I get it. I have stones that are very important to me too. But I've also had stones through the years that were very important to me that found their way to other people. Okay, great. That just means that this stone is now yours. So when you lose a stone, misplace it, give it up, whatever, you wish it well, and you hope that it will serve its new owner just as well, if not better, than it served you. Yes, Rachel says any stone will work with your energy wherever, whatever, whatever you put into it sometimes, right. Sometimes, sometimes they do what they want. Yeah, sometimes you may have a stone that you really need this stone to work with the solar plexus chakra. And when you place it, it starts to give the person heartburn. Well, shit. Okay, shut it down and try a different stone. Or shut it down and move it somewhere else. This is not a broadcast on how to use stones. That would take hours upon hours and not something I care to do on a live feed video. Number one, I don't have the right setup for it, right? So, anybody else have anything else they want to offer about stones or stones and shamanism before we pull it down?
That's
You can read about the stones and how to use them and everything, but until you feel them, it's better to find knowledge.
stones are going to come and go. Stones are going to come to you because they need to come to you. Stones are going to leave because they need to leave. And stones are, you know, sometimes they have a mind of their own. You know, so
Yeah, stones are like
whether or not you believe stones work or don't work, they do what they do, whether you want to believe it or not. So
yeah, like people.
What you got to say?
Stones, are, like you said, are tools. Each one talks to the person that is using it or the person that it needs to be used on. There's no set pattern or means by the way that they're supposed to be used. It just depends on what they and you feel where it needs to go.
And therein lies the whole point of what Cindy and Clint and Dave have said, and exactly what everybody has said in chat. Rachel says, anybody there that remembers me?
Oh, come on, Rachel. I will say, really? I
So-
remember the wheels too.
Right.
So you're 58 years old, Don? Wow. I don't know anybody that old.
Not until you look in a mirror, Dave. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, I'm 58.
I'm 60. What are you talking about?
Woohoo!
You're still young and tender, Clint.
That's an opinion for some people.
Anyway, we digress.
Joe, there's so many places I could go with all of that. I'm really going to have fun if I'm still alive when I turn 69.
Hell yeah.
Uh,
Possibly do 55 this year. So definitely.
Stay alive at 55.
Well, when you turn 69, that's a position. That's not an age anymore. That's a position.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was going with that.
They went there.
Yep. Well, gang, I appreciate you watching with us today and joining in with Live with the Shaman. And I hope our broadcast, kind of help you understand stones a little better. It doesn't make any difference whether they're crystals or run-of-the-mill river rock or, just a stone you happen to pick up beside the road. I've seen some healers that have used tumbled concrete as healing stones. Okay, I didn't find anything exciting in it, but they used it and it worked for them. So stones that you find that work for you and work for you with your clients and your form of healing, by all means use the damn thing. If you want to read a book to kind of give you ideas of what stones there are out there and how the author of that book have found that they work, knock your socks off. But just because it's in a book doesn't mean it's the gospel. Yeah, I went there. Alright. Well, thank you again for watching. And we'll see you next week here on Live with the Shaman. You have a great day. Have a great week.